everyone, my name is Lauren and welcome to my library. Today I'm going to be doing the first half of my March wrap up. So far this month it is currently the 15th of March and I have read a total of 3 books. It's not going great, I'm going to admit that, but I'm still not mad about it. I haven't been reading a whole lot this month. I haven't really felt motivated to. I've had some other things going on that I needed to do, so that's just a thing that's happening. But I'm going to talk about the 3 books before the end of the month because I'm not going to remember much about them if I don't do it now. So the first book I finished for the month of March is A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab. A Darker Shade of Magic is basically about 4 different kinds of Londons. Each of them have different kinds of relationships with power or with magic. And Kel is one of the last magicians that can travel to each London. And he goes there looking after the royals and communicating with other people and things like that. And then something goes wrong and he meets Lila Bud and she kind of saves his life. And they decide to take this journey to destroy this evil object from a London that doesn't exist anymore. And it has been cut off from all of the other Londons. So they're going back to that London to destroy the item. I rated this one 4 stars. I think if I had read this physically, I would have rated this one easily 5 stars. The thing that annoyed me the most was the narrator for the audiobook. I really didn't enjoy him, and I just felt like it definitely took me out of the world and took me out of the story and hindered my experience while I was reading this. So the issues I had with him was Lila Bard's voice wasn't what I wanted it to be. It was very high-pitched and quite girly and feminine, and for her to be such a badass in this, I just felt like it wasn't an accurate portrayal of what I thought she would sound like or what I wanted her to sound like. So that definitely played a part in it. And there's also another bit where Kel was using his magic whenever he would say, like, as Travaz, it was like so deep and dramatic and it was just too much. And he would say it like, I don't know, I just feel like it wouldn't have been such a dramatic saying. He would have just said it like as Travaz rather than, I'm not even going to try and do what he did, but yeah, I didn't love it. So I'm going to continue this series, but I'm going to read them physically because I don't think if it's the same narrator, I can't do it again. I only pushed through because I really wanted to finish it. So there's that one. The second book I finished for the month was The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. This was one of my most anticipated reads for the year. I ended up rating this one, I believe, 3 stars. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I did love it. I loved the aspect of space and exploring space and getting to see the kind of people that would be involved in that. The Gravity of Us follows Cal, who is quite a popular news reporter type person on social media. He basically just delivers the news in a non-biased way, and I think a lot of people find it really refreshing, and so he has a lot of subscribers, he has a lot of viewers, he gets a lot of attention. And then he finds out that his dad has been accepted as one of the crewmen on the rocket that is going to go to Mars. So he has to basically uproot his life from Brooklyn and move to Houston, and it is this huge change for him. At the same time that that's happening, there is also a reality TV show linked with NASA, which basically just covers the families that having to like change their entire lives to come here and to support their family and become a part of NASA's team. So a lot of struggles have come from that with him. He does have a lot of difficulty trying to move away from his old home and create new friends. And then he meets Leon, who is the son of one of the other members of the NASA team, and basically they start this relationship and things happen. I really enjoyed this one, not as much as I thought it was going to. It was definitely on my radar because it was LGBT plus and it was a diverse read and something that I really want to try and actively read books like that. But yeah, I feel like it was just like a cute contemporary easy read, something that was like light and it wasn't too dark or too heavy hitting. But yeah, I definitely really enjoyed my time while reading it. And then the last book I have to talk about is Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. I finished this one yesterday. I read it within maybe 24 hours once I decided to actually pick it up. I said I was going to be I said I'd started it, but when I hadn't even started it, I just couldn't open the page to begin with. But once I got into it, I very much enjoyed it. So this one is a modern retelling of Greece, and it was so good. This one is another LGBT plus book. I rated this one 4 stars. In this one, we are following Ollie, who goes to a summer camp at the beginning of the novel and kind of has this summer romance with a boy named Will. After the summer ends, he doesn't hear back from Will despite trying to contact him, and his parents then come up to him and basically say, we've decided to stay in the town where the little lake summer camp was, and you're going to go to school here while we look after your auntie. And basically Ollie goes to school and finds out that Will is at the same school as him but isn't out yet. So Ollie has a lot to deal with because Will isn't out and doesn't want to admit that they were in a relationship or if anything happened. So this one is a lot heavier than the Gravity of Us, but I definitely enjoyed this one more. I rated this one 4 stars. I feel like the dynamics within this was just exactly what I needed right now. I loved the family dynamic and how they all just come together to help each other. I found it really heartwarming, and bless my cold dead heart, I really enjoyed myself at this one. I really liked the ending and I'm very satisfied. Again, it was just like a light, quick, contemporary read, which is something that I'm very in the mood for at the moment. It's something that I really enjoy. So those are the 3 books that I've read so far. I will update you again when I finish some more books. I am currently reading King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm interested to see where it's going to go. I'm loving that it has some of the characters from Six of Crows in it, so I'm really enjoying myself so far. And I'll update you in a couple of weeks. So it is currently the 29th of March. It's Sunday and it is my only day off this week, so I'm going to be filming the books that I read for the last week. So I am almost finished 2 books as we're speaking, but I have already finished 2 books for the week. So I'm going to talk about those 2 and then I'll get into the ones that I'm currently reading now. So the first one I finished this week was King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. I really enjoyed this one way more than I expected to. So this one follows Nikolai obviously after Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom has happened. We're basically dealing with the ramifications of the Darkling infesting some sort of demon inside of him. This definitely wasn't what I expected it to be at all. It was far more entertaining than I thought. I think mainly because Zoya and Nina were part of this book so heavily, and they definitely influenced my opinions of this and definitely rose it up. Those 2 are my favorite characters of this book, and I thought that I was going to love Nikolai, and I do love his humor and his sarcasm and things like that, but I definitely feel like Nina and Zoya were the front runners of this novel. So I ended up rating this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see what happens in the next book, because this one still left a lot of questions and a lot of things unresolved, but I'm still very much content with how it ended and how things happened in it. So this one I rated 4 stars. And then the second book I finished this week is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I picked this one up on a whim because I have a free subscription to Scribd at the moment for the next 30 days. Because everyone is in quarantine and at home, they kind of want to advertise and make reading a priority in people's lives. So they offered a free subscription, and obviously I took up the offer. I can't not because it's free and I love free things. So I picked this one up because it was on there, and I smashed it out within 3 days on audio, and I actually liked this one a lot. I didn't expect to because I've heard very mixed reviews about it and I wasn't sure what I was going to get myself into, but I just really enjoyed this. Again, what's his name? I really enjoyed Nathaniel Thorne's, is it Nathaniel or Nathan? Nathaniel. I really enjoyed Nathaniel Thorne's humour and wit and sarcasm. I think it's very similar to Nikolai, and that's what I liked about him. I definitely really enjoyed his part, and I also really enjoyed Silas as a demon and as a character within this novel. I think he brought a lot of depth and a lot of intrigue into the story, and I was very appreciative of that. I will say that I rated this one 4 stars. I think had the ending been different, I probably would have rated it 5 stars. I was definitely very attached to the characters and to the story. I was definitely really invested in it, and I didn't want to put it down, but I was definitely let down by the last chapter. Had it finished, if I had finished and not read the epilogue, I probably would have rated this 5 stars, but that epilogue just really didn't satisfy me the way I wanted it to, unfortunately, so I rated this one 4 stars. So I am currently halfway through I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. I didn't even read the synopsis of going into this, so I didn't know what I expected, but this one basically follows a main character who is meeting her online best friend for the first time. So they've been talking online for 2 years, and they're going to meet up because they're going to a meet and greet for their favorite boy band, in like the biggest boy band in the world basically. And you get 2 perspectives. You get one from the main character and one from one of the members of the boy band, and I'm absolutely loving this. I read half of it within one sitting, and I'm just devouring it, and I cannot wait until I can get back into this world, into this novel, and like smash it out, because I love this book. I've already cried in it, I've already laughed, I've already felt very much connected to the characters, and I feel like I can definitely relate to the main protagonist in this novel, so that's definitely something that's on my side, and I feel like this one's going to be a 5-star read for me, and I haven't had many of those this year, so I'm very excited for how this one's going to end. And the other book I'm reading this month is How to Be Remy Cameron by Gillian Winters. I have about 50 or so pages left of this one, I believe, and it is definitely a different feel to his first novel, Running with Lions, which I absolutely love. I talk about it on this channel all the time. So this one follows Remy Cameron, obviously, who is a black, gay, adopted boy in high school trying to figure out who he is and where he belongs in the world. And I just find the story really heartwarming, and I just love the dynamics in Julia Winters' writing. Like the friendship dynamics and the relationships within his stories are always so spot on, and I just absolutely love them, and I'm very much enjoying that book, and I will probably finish that one tonight. So I will let you know more of my thoughts on that as I finish the novel and in my final wrap up before this goes live. So I guess I'll see you in 2 days when I finish these 2 books. So it is the end of March now, and I'm here to bring you the last couple of books that I read for the end of the month. I ended up finishing 3 books, and I have no idea how I managed to do it. So I managed to read a total of 8 books for this month, and I am a little smug about it, I think, to be honest, considering how much I have worked in this last month. It has been absolutely insane. I have worked about 60 hours a week for the last 3 weeks, give or take, and I am honestly exhausted. But I did have the opportunity to work in one of the departments at work where I can listen to audiobooks for some of the time. So that was very exciting for me. I managed to finish a whole book in one of my shifts, so I was very excited about that. So let's just get into talking about them. So I did manage to finish I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. I ended up rating this one 4 stars instead of the 5 stars that you just saw. I thought I was going to rate it, purely because the ending, or like the second half of the novel, wasn't what I wanted it to be. I thought that it was going to go in a different direction, and it just didn't go where I wanted it to. It kind of seemed a little far-fetched and unrealistic. So while that was what hindered my enjoyment of it, I still felt like it's definitely a solid book, something that I very much enjoyed, and I am really excited to read more of Alice Oseman's novels. The second book that I finished was How to Be Remy Cameron. I rated this one 4 stars as well. I really did enjoy this one. It definitely, I don't think, fits into the same tier as Running with Lions does, but it was definitely something that was so heartwarming and important, and something that I don't even know how to express it. It was just definitely something that I felt like is an important piece of work. And I just loved the representation that was in this novel, and I think that is so important, and I'm so glad that these representations are slowly coming into novels as the norm, and it just makes my heart so happy. And I love Julian Winters and I cannot wait for his next book, but this one was a 4-star read for me. And then the last book I read for the month, which kind of came out of nowhere, I wasn't even planning on reading it, was Warrior of the Wild by Tricia Levenstella. So Daughter of the Pirate King is one of my favourite books. So I absolutely love the main character Alosa in Daughter of the Pirate King. Her sass, her wit, her everything was like this perfect character that I built up in my head, and I absolutely love that duology. And Warrior of the Wild definitely had some of those aspects. I really loved the main protagonist. She was everything that Alosa was in a different way, and so I definitely feel like their voices were very similar in the way that I read them, but they both had weaknesses and strengths that were different from each other, and their personalities, obviously everything was completely different. Warrior of the Wild, we're following Rajmira, I think is how you say it, I'm not entirely sure. And basically her father is the leader of their town, village, whatever you want to call it, and she has decided that she's going to enter this competition to become a warrior or a Viking and lead her village and take over from her father. And the rest of the people that are in the competition sabotage her, and because of the events that happen in the competition, she gets banished from her village and is expected to live out in the wild until she completes her task of killing the god that basically controls all of the surrounding villages. She thought that she was going to get something that was easy and something that she could redeem herself by and come back to the village and still take over what she wanted to do. And I think that she quickly realizes while she's in the wild that it's not something that's going to happen very easily once she finds out what her task is. And then she meets some boys in the wild and lives with them for a little bit, and like these are other boys that have obviously been banished from their villages because of their events and things that have happened. They've obviously failed, and they have been sent out to the wild as well, and they both have their own challenges that they need to complete before they can be accepted back. And I just loved the dynamics. Like, her as a main character, she's fierce, she's strong, she's brave, but also at the same time she is so terrified of the wild and being out there that it just seems so realistic. The character is so real and authentic, and I just loved this book so much. I read it in one day at work, and I was just like, I love Tricia Levenstella, and I cannot wait to read her new book that just came out. And I'm gonna read everything that she's ever written, because it's just something that it just makes my heart happy, and I cannot wait to read it. So those are all of the books that I read in the month of March. I expect that April will be a good month for me. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good month. I get 4 days off, so I'm like super excited that I'm just going to do like a massive readathon. But that is beside the point, I'm rambling again. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a comment below and let me know what you have read this month. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.